We're an hour
Ace
away
two.
from the deadline, and I just went live for us, so we are now live on YouTube. So
Woo!
I don't think anyone's watching, but I'll get the link out to some of our friends, and we'll see if they want to join. Let me copy that old link there. Let's get it in the league. Anyway, big deadline for the three of our teams so far. I don't know. Where do we want to start? So far, there's been a couple moves trickling in the last couple minutes, but not. We got Tyler Wells going to the Rays. We've got
I want to hear from Dallas.
yeah.
I want to hear about the Angels. I feel like the Padres are always a player in these moments. I want to hear from Dallas. It feels like it's been forever begging the Angels to do something at a trade deadline, whether it be buyers or sellers.
Yeah, I mean they haven't done enough yet. It's happening for sure. They need to do more because right now we're sitting at a place where it's just crossed the border into, if they stop here, a half measure at this point. Like before, they traded Ohapi first. That was like last week or something. And that's like, okay, like, they might get rid of a couple guys. And then, you know, they got rid of Soriano this morning and on and on. They've gone all day just giving whoever people want, like taking whatever deal comes along for whoever. Um, and, uh, you know, that's good. But with the number of deals they've done now, it's crossed over into, if they stop here, it would be considered a half measure at this, from my perspective, because they have a couple people left. A third that, would shock the world, but like not going to happen. But a couple that could be traded in Detmers and Neto still to be traded yet. And they need to do one of those guys in order for me to consider this to be a full, successful sell deadline. They have the worst record in baseball. Like this is not, the last 3 years or so when it's like, they're 5 games under 500 or 6 games under 500 at this point in the year. And I would want them to sell because I didn't see a future for them, but they obviously, with the half, with, a, greater part of a third of the season to go, they didn't see themselves in that way where they have to do that. This is different. They're the worst team in the majors by record, and they needed to do this. So it finally happened, and they're getting decent stuff back. I think that the two guys I mentioned who are yet to be traded could get a good returns for them too. So if one of the two of them goes, I'll be happy. And that's good. But yeah, I'm overall just happy about it. I think it's a good thing to do right now.
So the Angels are being run right now by John Mozeliak. I think that's how you
Yes.
say it. And he's like on an interim tag. So what do you think? Like I heard rumors he's vying for the job full time. Um,
Yeah.
but like do you think I mean it seems like he was able to convince Artie to sell to some degree. I mean, Adele a true rental or did he have another year after this one?
I think he has another one.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
So
Soriano's
not
not
a
a
true rental.
rental. Neto
Nope.
and Detmers, you would think are their two biggest chips, even before. So obviously still remaining. Uh,
Yeah.
I kind of don't think that Zach Neto is going to get moved. I don't think any
Yeah.
shortstop is really going to get moved. Uh, the Red Sox were definitely in on shortstops, but it seems like they were big game hunting a little bit. Like they checked in on Ellie De La Cruz, they checked in on Corey Seager. I think they even asked about Bobby Witt before that was immediately shut down. And then you got other guys like on a tier below that, maybe. I mean, CJ Abrams, he's having a great year. And then Neto and Otto Lopez over in Miami. It just seems like all these teams, either the contract is too complicated to really make a deal work at this point, or they don't really want to sell. Or in the Angels case with Neto, like, yeah, that's going to be a big package. You got 3 years of Neto, I believe, or like 2.5, I think, if you trade
Yeah,
for him.
yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we should have a mad dash here in the last hour. We're seeing some reports. Yankees are trying to get Elliot Ramos from the Giants. Um, Blue Jays and Astros are close to swapping Dalton Varsho and Spencer Arrighetti. Kind of an interesting trade there. Cubs just got Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor. So Cubs with Kevin Gossman and Clay Holmes, that's huge for them. They were by far the contending team that needed pitching the most. And they got two guys who you could pencil into a playoff rotation for them, I think. So that's nice for them. Yeah, Matt, you want to talk about what the Padres have got done today so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just been one actual like trade. We traded for Robbie Ray, formerly of the Giants. We just played against him on Thursday, I believe it was.
Your only
So
loss in the last 10 games, right? Is a
our
Robbie
only
Ray.
loss was the Robbie Ray start. We were 9-1 or something, 8-1 in our last 9 or 10 games. Um, and yeah, I mean, he shut us down for like six, maybe I forget if it was 6 or 7 innings. Um, but he shut us down pretty good. And when you look at the numbers, outside of 1 or 2 games that he just kind of had implode, he's actually been really good this year, like amongst the
Mhm.
best of his career in terms of just ERA, and some other things. Obviously, he is older now. I think he's like 34, 35 years old. So like it's not like we're trading and expecting him to just be this long-term solution for the Padres, but for this year, when we're 1 game out of the playoffs at this point, where it stands right now today, um, I think this is a great move. Where there's still the expectation is that we will be getting Nick Pivetta and Joe Musgrove back by the end of this month. Um, Pivetta obviously was pitching pretty well earlier this season, and Musgrove hasn't pitched in a long time. But getting those guys back and seeing where our current rotation stands, it feels like you can finally kind of see, like, okay, if the Padres can just get to the playoffs, maybe we've got a shot. Our offense has really come alive, starting in July essentially and translating all the way through, and just feels like our guys have a completely different approach at the plate. Um, all the rumors out there right now are that the Padres are still looking for another left-handed bat, so don't be shocked if there's some Padres moves coming in right up until the last minute, man, because yeah, apparently Gavin Sheets might be down for a bit. He exited our game yesterday, so that's another one of our left-handed bats. So I expect fully that AJ Preller is going to be busy here in the next 50 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, Preller is the deadline king, basically, these days. Um, this is Robbie Ray's Baseball Savant page. There is a lot of blue down here, but the pitches themselves still very good. And he has a nice 3.08 ERA this year.
Best
I think
ERA
that's a
on our
good.
starting pitching.
Yeah. And yeah, let's like you said, it's only a one the rest of this year, and then he's a free agent. So, um, you know, it's a solid move for the Padres. I'd like to see what else they might have cooking. We just got some breaking news from Jeff Passan that the Yankees are acquiring Elliot Ramos from the Giants. Um, just waiting for medicals, I guess. Not sure who the return is, but a nice right-handed power bat for the Yankees. He, you know, the Yankees offense has really struggled without Aaron Judge in there, and this is a guy hits the ball very hard, and I think he's a bit of a lefty masher, if I remember correctly. I think that's kind of his his thing. So Yankees were looking for right-handed bats. They got one. Not much else to say. He's a decent bat. Not anything spectacular. Probably will play up a little bit at Yankee Stadium. But yeah, Elliot Ramos to the Yankees.
Am I reading this right? Did the Angels get the son of Mark McGwire back in their recent trade with the Cubs?
I don't know. I
the
saw
Angels-
the names, but I
Chicago
don't know if
Cubs
there's any
prospect
relation.
Mason McGuire and catcher DH Moises Ballesteros were sent to the Cubs to the Angels, or from the Cubs to the Angels for Ryan Zeferjan.
Yeah, I knew about that trade, but I wasn't aware of any relation. But maybe.
That's just the tweet I'm seeing, but that's pretty funny if it is.
Mason McGuire, I'm looking at his picture. He looks like he could be Mark McGuire's son, but I did not know that Mark McGuire had a son playing organized baseball, so that's cool.
Let's see.
Cubs are making moves.
Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't finish typing in his full name, and the first Google suggested is Mason McGuire, Mark McGuire's son. So let's see what the answer is. He is the son, yes, of St. Louis Cardinals slugger Mark McGuire. Okay, great. He's a pitcher, so not a transferable skill set from dad to son, but you know what? That's fun. We'll take that.
His career in minor leagues,
the other guy,
5.77 ERA. Yeah, the other guy the Angels got is
good.
a legitimate
good catching
bat.
prospect.
Yeah, Moises Ballesteros is actually good to my knowledge.
I have no idea about his catching ability, but I know he can swing it a little bit. So
yeah,
good for the Angels. I like that. There he is right there. But let's take a look at the Red Sox big fish they reeled in today while we have a moment. Adley Rutschman, the catcher. It's going to be very strange to see him in another uniform. He was the number 1 overall pick back in 2019. He was the kicker at Oregon State, or like for, I think, kickoffs only, maybe.
He has a career tackle against Christian McCaffrey, I believe.
Right, yeah, that pops up every now and again.
Wow. Black and orange for life until now.
Surface numbers aren't anything spectacular, but if you look at the Baseball Savant, pretty red. He's definitely a great defensive catcher. We're shipping Carlos Narvaez out in this deal, so nice to obviously Adley will be the catcher, so that makes sense, but nice to replace good defense with even better defense. That's nice. And then we've seen what he can do with the bat at times in his career. It's been slow the last few years, but who knows? Maybe change of scenery, he picks it up. Red Sox gave up quite a bit, but I think, if I'm gonna bitch and whine about last year's deadline and 2 years ago deadline, I can't also sit here and say, but hold on to all those prospects. Because let's face it, the American League's wide open. The Red Sox have been the best team in baseball over the last month. They just swept the back-to-back champion Los Angeles Dodgers in LA. They deserve some reinforcements here, and catching is one of our few positions where we just haven't had any production. So I really like the addition of Adley Rutschman. He is on the injured list for right now. I think he's starting a rehab assignment this next week is the plan. But they also got Jake Rogers in the deal, so I guess he'll slot in the meantime. He's a major league caliber catcher. I just noticed we've got some chats. Oh, this is our own self. But you've got a tweet that's a link that I can't I guess I can't open the link from the live stream. But that's okay. What did you share with us, Matt?
It's a report that the Red Sox still really want to come out of this trade deadline with a shortstop, and obviously with less ammunition. Padres Twitter is taking full advantage of asking, please take Xander Bogaerts back.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it's not impossible.
Xander
maybe 3
for
weeks ago
Jaren
that would have been a
Durant.
more yeah. Three weeks ago that might have been a more
Xander.
tantalizing prospect, but they're 22-4 in the last you know few weeks, and they just swept the Dodgers in LA. Like, yeah, it's we're not doing fun stuff anymore.
Since I think it's June, it's like the last weekend of June, they are 28-5, I believe,
Yeah,
which
yeah. So
is just unbelievable. I was there. I was at Dodger Stadium yesterday to watch the finale of that
mhm.
series, and I mean, I couldn't believe my eyes. The whole series of just the Red Sox looked like the better team. The exception being the middle game, Yamamoto started, and he looked great. He only gave up 2 hits through 7 innings, but they were both home runs to Cedon, so it was 2-2. And then the Red Sox kind of small balled him in the eighth and ended up taking the win. But our pitching held up against a really obviously stout lineup. They are missing Will Smith, and we didn't face any of their best pitchers besides Yamamoto, but still, I'm feeling quite good after that series.
did they
All right, we've
show?
got
Oh, go ahead. This is for
I
later.
don't have a trade, so yeah, you go
Oh, okay.
ahead.
I was wondering because I was watching on Peacock, and they showed obviously the second that Scooble got into the dugout uh, over there, they showed him. Did they show him on the big screen at the stadium like the minute he showed up?
I did not. I didn't see that.
Okay.
We were pondering if he had been there yet or not, and so yeah, I didn't know
From
until I
from
got
how they
home.
were from how they were talking on the broadcast, he arrived for the first time to the Dodgers mid game and then put on a sweater and came out to the dugout. So I was wondering if they would have shown him on the, or I was like they're gonna run him out there in between innings or something,
Let him
but
close the game.
to say hello, or whatever. But I guess they didn't do that, which is fine. There's a game to be played.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we got this from Ken Rosenthal. Giants close to acquiring Marcelo Meyer from the Red Sox for reliever Eric Miller. Wow.
Mm.
So
Holy crap.
I need to look up who Eric Miller is because I've not heard of him.
Will
Um,
will the next shortstop come from within or without?
Do you guys just
that's a good
promote
question.
what's his name? Did you guys trade Arias?
No, Arias.
Arias?
He has not been traded. I kind of don't think he will be at this point. The one exception is if they do get a shortstop, I guess it's possible. Um, but right now, Andrew Monasterio has been playing shortstop for the Red Sox because Meyer's been hurt anyways. Um, and he's not the best defensively, but he's been one of our hottest hitters. So like, I feel like it's not about necessarily the um like short-term fix. Like I don't know if we need a shortstop right now. It was more of a long-term thing. And yeah, our top prospect who has now skyrocketed this year into being a top 10 consensus top 10 prospect in baseball. In some places he's like top 5. Um yeah, I'm not in a rush to trade him. If the right move came up, I'm not necessarily against it. But I'm looking at Eric Miller's page here on Baseball Savant, and very red. Nice for a reliever.
All right.
Marcelo Meyer's value has kind of tanked, but to get a lefty reliever that is something we needed. There's always a million relievers that get traded at the deadline that I may or may not have heard of, and they end up being solid guys. So we'll see.
I was
Marcelo
gonna
seems
say
to kind of,
he kind of pumped against us. I mean, he's throwing high 90s. The ball just shoots out of his hand. Like I thought he was good.
yeah, he's fastball velo. Here, I can share this. Um, Fastball velo is in the 86th percentile. The average exit velocity is 99th, and an expected batting average is 98th percentile. Whiff percentage 97th percentile. Like I think this dude might be a stud. And
And
Marcelo's. Go ahead.
take the numbers with a grain of salt. I will say during the broadcast in our series against the Giants, I think he is like their closer. I know he only has the 4 saves, but I think that's tied for most. and I think they've kind of had to like jumble around. But to my knowledge, up until this happening, I think was basically their closer.
That makes sense. Yeah, they don't really have their bullpen is not really structured like some teams do. That's great for the Red Sox. I think left-handed reliever was underratedly something we needed. Giovanni Moran. Well, obviously Chapman's a lefty, but he's a ninth inning guy. You know, he's
Yeah,
not really gonna
not gonna bring him
do
in
a
elsewhere.
different. Yeah, and then you've got Giovanni Moran as your next best lefty, and he's been pretty solid this year. But he's already, I believe he's already eclipsed the most innings pitched he's had in a season. So you know, you don't always love that for pitchers. So it's nice to get another high leverage arm in there. Our bullpen has been the best in baseball by ERA, I believe, this year. And so, yeah, man, I mean, this American League is wide open. And why can't the Red Sox be the team to come out of it? Is my opinion. And
Yeah.
Craig's acting like it. And you know what? I do want to apologize to Craig Breslow because last year I was on this exact same live stream pissed off about what he did. And I'm not going to fully apologize because the Dustin May trade is bad all the way through. But there was reporting the last couple weeks about what they did offer to get Joe Ryan from the Twins, and it was a lot. It was Franklin Arias and Peyton Tolley, who now I'm sure the Twins are kicking themselves for not taking that deal. Obviously, Joe Ryan's a stud in his own right, but like, yeah, like I can't blame Craig for the Twins saying no to that. That is putting your best foot forward in trying to get a guy. It just didn't happen last year. Um, Nice to get some deals across the finish line. I'm gonna miss Marcelo Meyer. He kind of had lost his spot on this team, and like, you know, it sucks that he was kind of billed as the future for a long time, and then he got leapfrogged by Roman Anthony in our system, and then so far he just has done the major league success, and every season, both majors and minors have had a significant injury, and you know, I think his stock went down from there. But I like him on the Giants. You know, they have Adames, so he could slot into second base if Adames needs to move over. Marcelo could be their shortstop, cost controlled type of player. I'd like to see him get a real opportunity there to start and see what he can do. But I think the glove is for sure something
As I say,
that
problem is, I think they might slot him in at short or at third because Chapman's on the IL right now.
yeah, he can play third too. I mean, he's a good defensive infielder. I think wherever you put him. So
Kind of wish that he came to the Padres.
Marcelo.
Yeah, that would have been such a good spot for us. We have
Dude,
we
one
have
thing,
lefty bullpen we could have given you. Not probably Eric Miller level, but I feel like we could have made it happen.
I think also there's like kind of a misconception about how, or I don't know, like if how the league values certain players on the Red Sox versus how the Red Sox actually value these guys. Because I think a lot of people were very surprised with the Connolly early for Curtis Mead trade. They thought the Red Sox gave up too much for Curtis Mead. I thought they probably gave up more in that deal than what they were getting, but I didn't think it was that egregious. And then same with Marcelo Meyer. Like I don't think Marcelo Meyer is still that guy that he was 2, 3 years ago, which is a bummer because he was picked, I think, number 4 overall in the draft. Um, and you had high hopes for him, but you know, it just doesn't always work out for that. And I do hope that he has a lot of success in San Francisco. I'll still root for him. But I like Eric Miller, 6'5", 269. Dude, this guy's massive.
Yeah, no, again, he's a tank up there, and his fastballs were shooting off. He
All right,
closed the Robbie Ray start for us,
yeah,
or
that's
against
awesome.
us.
Matt, you're gonna take solo for like 5 seconds while I run away, but I'll be right back.
All right. Uh, Friends, the Padres are such an interesting team, man. I feel like our fans are so wishy-washy about everything. I am just reading through. I just keep refreshing Twitter at this point, and all I'm seeing is Padres fans complaining that we're buying, Padres fans then complaining that, AJ Preller isn't doing enough. Like, I just feel like it's so 50-50. It is, it's genuinely like mind-boggling. I don't know why it's so hard to get behind just supporting your team trying. You know what I'm saying, Drew?
I do know what you're saying. Padres
Like,
are a wild team to be a fan of, I must imagine.
yeah, but my thing is I don't get why we're so torn as a fan base on letting AJ Preller try. Like, what else is he supposed to do? Are we supposed to just bend over every year? You know, oh man, every team in our division's 12 games back from the Dodgers. Might as well sell all of our play. Like, no, dude. Like, let's get into it. Let's buy. Let's trade. Let's make this team better. And there's this tweet that cycles around on Padres Twitter every year, and it's the fact like AJ Preller will always restock our farm. He always will. He's done it every single year. We have unloaded some massive
Literally, that's
trades.
how it works.
Right, but on top of that, he's good at it. Right? It's not just
Right.
that we get younger guys. He also is good at like spotting talent and like developing talent. And so we've got this interesting thing where our fans are just so torn on like whether we should be buyers and sellers, and I don't get it because I see us being one game out, right? Being on kind of a hot streak recently. Our bats have come alive, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like we've had some bummer injuries, but who hasn't? But like we aren't that far off from being a really competitive team. Our starting rotation has the third least innings pitched in all of baseball for a starting rotation, the fourth worst ERA. If we even get that starting rotation up to like league average with the way that our offense has been playing, like we're a much different team. We're a much different team, and we've got still either the best or one of the best bullpens in baseball. Because right now it seems like we're not trading Adrian Morejon. Feels like we're not trading Jeremiah Estrada. Like none of our bullpen seems to be getting touched at this point. I say that as if I'm cursing myself and jinxing myself here, but like none of these guys seem like they're getting moved. And so if we can even just get to like league average starting rotation, I feel like the Padres are in just such a good spot. And yet we'll still like I'm just reading through every tweet is just so negative about what's going on.
Yeah. It's like also like what are if the Padres did sell, like yeah, Mason Miller, I guess you could
We have
turn
some
that into a
expiring
big hole,
contracts, right?
but
Like you think
like no
about
one's gonna take Manny, no one's gonna take Xander, like
it,
that's
it,
just
it
not.
wouldn't be about that. A lot of people are saying they want to sell the expiring contracts, right? They're talking about like, do you get rid of Michael King? Do you get rid of Adrian Morejon? Do you get rid of Ty France? Some of these guys where it's like they are on the last year of their deals or were only on 1 year deals and can still kind of replenish the farm system. But I think what people are forgetting is that's not going to help us in any significant way in the next like couple of years when the core of our team is like it or not, the core of our team is Manny and Xander and Tatis, like and Jackson Merrill. Like that is the Padres core, and if you're a Padres fan, I feel like you kind of got to get with it and get behind it. I have my own issues with Manny. Xander has not performed as we'd hoped, but you still got to get behind it and root for him. I mean, that's sports, right? Like you gotta still root for your team. I don't know. It's such a weird mentality to have.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Padres are in such a like unique situation compared to literally any other team in baseball, just with all the contracts they have, plus the ownership stuff, plus the fact that they like desperately need pitching, and it's just like you you want them to be good. Like as a neutral fan, it's like you kind of you want them to be good because like you want a team to go for it and you want to root for that. Um, but it's just like are the right pieces there? It's hard to say.
If I'm
But
being fully honest, and this is like true transparency, no, I don't think so. I don't know that our current roster construction is going to surpass or beat the Dodgers in a playoff series, I don't know if we're going to be able to go out there and actually like pull that off. But at the same time, right? Like I look back at 2023 with the Diamondbacks, they got hot, their offense went off, they had a couple good pitchers, some young flashy bats, and they were able to go out and beat the Dodgers in a playoff series as well. And so it is one of those like anything can happen situations. I don't know that this is like the perfectly like I'm the most confident I've ever been in the Padres, but I just think there's such a defeatist attitude in the National League right now because of the Dodgers that everyone gets so negative about trying to beat them. And
Yeah.
and
Same thing happens
we
with the
don't
Phillies.
right, and it's like we don't need to talk about the Dodgers and make this another Dodgers debate. We can all have our thoughts and opinions on what's happening with them. But at the end of the day, I'm like, every sport can have dynasties, and part of the fun is trying to beat them and being the team that beats them. Like,
Yeah.
it sucks watching a team win 2, 3, 4 years in a row, whatever it is, right? Like, we've witnessed this multiple times in football. We've seen it in basketball a bunch. This could be kind of the start of that for baseball. And when you get to be the team that can knock them out, like that's going to be the biggest thing, like in recent years. Like that'll be a generational moment if you get to be that team. And so I'm anti Dodgers and what they're doing, but I just don't understand the defeatist attitude for everyone else. Like, yeah, we're literally the direct rivals at this point of the Dodgers. We should be stacking talent as often and as best we can to try and give them a run for their money. Because, in my opinion, who else has a better chance to do it than us? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it that adds like what you're saying adds to my frustration currently with like the Brewers haven't done anything this deadline really.
hey, they just traded for Antonio Senzatella.
Okay, they got Antonio Sensatella, so he'll be in their bullpen and he'll do his thing.
He's going to turn into a 2 ERA starter.
But like they have one of the best farm systems in baseball. They have one of the best records in baseball. Every year they make the playoffs and then kind of fizzle out. Like I would have loved to see some more urgency from them, some more firepower. And granted, we have 27 more minutes, so who knows? Maybe there's one more big guy to move, and maybe the Brewers get involved there. Um, but yeah, it seems like they're kind of sitting tight right now. Our three teams have been busy, as I said at the top. Dallas, you already kind of walked us through it, but like in your perfect world, you're happy with the Angels selling. In your perfect world, what needs to happen in the next 27 minutes?
Yeah, perfect world. If I'm having my way, both Neto and Detmers go. And maybe another person who they get something little for. Like I just there's no. I have seen Angel games this year, not as many as I'm used to seeing, but like I've seen many, and I've been following the team as closely as I usually do. Like not having Detmers and Neto for the rest of this year is the difference between losing 100 games and losing 105, 6 games. Like it's not. We can lose all those games with them and don't get the return, or we can lose all those games without them and have people for the future. In my opinion, this team isn't going anywhere, obviously, and so it would be nice to see both of them go for solid returns. Like I say, a lot of the people who might be interested in Neto, they have depleted their at least prospect type returns a little bit over the course of the day. So tough to see him going, but in the perfect world, that would be what would happen for me. I'm trying to think if I know of anybody else, but I think those two are the ones we could still get significant people back for. And I say this because, like it's time to, whether the GM now is the GM next year, I don't know. I think maybe, he's trying to he's trying to make a case for himself and like be like, I have a vision, or I have an idea of something that we could be doing here. And he's trying to execute it. But I just think that, the Angels, whatever, flip the switch for one of the more involved owners in the sport to realize what I've known for the last, since they got rid of Shohei, last 3 years or so, is that the next winning Angels team is far from right now. Like it's far away from right now. It's not going to be next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. It's far from now. And so you should be managing the team and the roster and the farm with that in mind. And so that's what I want. It's just to keep that going. So keep the energy going, keep it up.
All right. Yeah. So Neto and Detmers out the door. We're hoping. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Before we get to Matt's dream scenario in the next 24 minutes, we've got a couple new reports in from Passan. The Cleveland Guardians are trading for Foster Griffin from the Nationals, guy who's having a breakout year for them. I believe he's only like on a 1-year deal, kind of because he just came out of nowhere and needed to prove it, and he's having a great year. So he's going into the Guardians pitching lab there. And then their division rivals, the Minnesota Twins, are going for it still. They just traded for Jeff Hoffman from the Toronto Blue Jays, a guy whose numbers have not been amazing this year, but the underlying stuff still likes him, so could be a big part of the Twins bullpen. And look at the Twins, how far they've come from a year ago. They were the biggest sellers. They were getting rid of everyone except for Joe Ryan and Byron Buxton, and here they are in a buying position. Good for them. We'll see that, like I was saying about the Red Sox, the American League is just wide open. So I like that teams are trying to take it. So yeah, couple moves trickling in. Matt, you have already kind of gone over what the Padres have done so far, and if you could pick like one, maybe one, and also like a minor one, move for the Padres to make in the next 20 minutes or so, what would that be for you?
Oof. If I had to pick like one, truly just one trade, I I love the idea. I know again the reports are out that Preller's still looking for a left-handed bat and a pitcher. The Orioles do line up as a possible trade partner for something like that, with Trevor Rogers being available, as well as take your pick of any white child on the Orioles who is a lefty bat. I mean, it could be Jackson Holliday, it could be any of those outfielders. They've got enough left-handed batters to go around. I think that would be like an ideal one right now. I even looked down like dream scenario would be. I know the Marlins have already kind of shut this down, but like, what would it look like for the Padres to give up the rest of our farm essentially and go get like Kyle Stowers and like a Sandy Alcantara or something? Something like that, I think, would also be huge. I mean, Kyle Stowers, I think, would be perfect in San Diego, and Sandy once again just gives us another solid pitcher who, at his best, can be dominant, and at his very worst, can be an innings eater type guy that the Padres just need at this point. Our bullpen has pitched more innings than any other bullpen in baseball by like a decent chunk. So getting our bullpen the rest they need before the playoffs, I think, would be huge. Acquiring one more guy who can at least go 5 or 6 innings. Doesn't have to be quality start, just 5 or 6 innings and actually eat up those innings. We've just had too many games go by where someone, Griffin Canning's given us like 2 innings, and it's not good long term for us, I don't think. So that would be, I think, like a dream scenario. Realistically, the name that keeps popping up, I don't know too much about this guy if I'm being honest, but the name that keeps popping up that the Padres are apparently checking in on is a guy named like Trevor Larnach, Lornog,
From the Twins.
from the
Larnach,
Twins. Yeah. I don't know much about him. That is something though that I keep seeing floating around. It's been talked about for the last couple hours. So if that's something that's on the way, then cool. I hope this kid's a stud because we could use another good bat right now. We really do need another good bat, lefty or righty. I don't really have a preference, but I know the Padres have expressed wanting a lefty. Oh, this guy.
Yeah, this is Trevor Larnack. He was actually like interesting. I think this was reported yesterday. The Twins and the Astros had a trade in place that was going to send Larnack to the Astros, and the Twins were going to get Brian Abreu for their bullpen, and Astros ownership nixed the deal. So I guess they wanted to keep Brian Abreu around for some reason, but Larnack's definitely a decent bat. I think he's definitely, more of the like he's a hard hitting lefty. That's great. Although actually his exit velos are low, but he's a good hitter. He's not a bad hitter. And I don't know, the Twins. I mean, the Twins are, I guess, walking that line on buying and selling. They need pitching. Larnack might be out the door. Padres seem like they could be a decent fit there because they've got bullpen arms out the wazoo. Um, so that could be a good need for need type of trade there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if they're looking for a Brian Abreu level, bullpen guy, and that was enough to get it done, we've got about 5 of them. So, like, we for sure could get a thing like that done, 100%. Uh, but we'll see.
Yeah, I will say about your Marlins dream, I think Sandy is just like the Marlins have been saying to everyone, like, we are not trading this guy. And I
They
don't
said the
really
same
get
for
it.
Stowers a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I don't like if I'm the Marlins. I mean, I get this year maybe wanting to go in, but like the years and years of being so tight-fisted with the starters, like it doesn't seem to have done them a lot of favors. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We've
Yeah,
still
I,
got
I again,
18
I
minutes
don't.
to go.
I like the Marlins players. I think the Marlins have like a pretty solid group there. I think it's just one of those things where, and again, I think this goes back to my mentality with a lot of uh, teams in general. Is a lot of teams just refuse to take a hard direction. Sometimes you need to just take a hard direction to either restock, reset, do all the things, whatever, or you just need to go in and you need to be buyers. And a team like the Marlins, like you do have a solid team here. What's stopping them from also having been aggressive this trade deadline and going out and acquiring, another player or two? Because they're not that far out of the playoffs in the National League either. They're only a few games back, and so I think it's just I find it really, really bizarre when teams just are cool being average. I think average is the worst thing you can be in sports. Um, it goes back to my Jeff Fisher days with the Rams of that 7-9 bullshit, and it's just like there was nothing worse than being 7-9 and not having a top 10 pick in the draft and also just not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like there's just
That
no joy in it. You don't get really that much better. Being average is the worst thing you can be in sports.
Yeah, that's what worried me when the Red Sox first started getting hot because obviously they were so bad for the first few months. When they first started getting hot, I was like, "Oh no, is this going to fool them into buying at the deadline?" Now, obviously, they've maintained it long enough that I'm like, "Yes, yeah, let's buy, let's do it." Matt is wanting us. This is a different Matt, sorry, Matt Robertson in the chat. He wants us to read his comments. So here we go. How about Sandy in San Diego? Come on, it's perfect. Yeah, can't
It
argue
is.
there.
He's right about that.
Can
It's
any of you
marketable.
solve a Rubik's Cube? I cannot.
Yes, I can.
Okay, that tracks. That tracks to me. Mr. Speech and Debate.
It was high school, and I had a friend who would he like would make his own custom ones that he would like, because he competed in like speed
Right.
solving it. And so he would put the whatever kind of special oil in between all, he would like basically grease up all the
Yeah.
squares and then put them together into a Rubik's Cube. And then he would do it that way. So I bought one and learned how to do it. You really just have to Google the
It's a
steps
combination, basically, right?
and
Yeah.
memorize them, and then it's always the same. And then you just get faster at it. So yes, I could solve one if I was given the right amount of time. Yes, I could remember it.
You
Awesome.
guys must
And
have
we
looked
just,
so snick at lunch.
yeah, I mean, Dallas is
Yeah.
just unleashing all his lore, telling us like what an awesome like life he had in high school. Like he was really popular, him and his
His
Yeah.
friends.
buddies just greasing up their Rubik's
Everybody
cubes.
really,
Their
everybody
bootlegged
really
Rubik's
liked it.
cubes.
Everybody really liked it, and it didn't get old after one time of them seeing me do it. They were always impressed.
Matt, to answer your question, yeah, I did see the report about that. I think 100% Mason Miller is worth any prospect in the world. He is the best single inning pitcher in baseball. He can do more than a single inning. Um, Cade Anderson, I'm sure, is awesome. I haven't looked too much into it, but Cade Anderson is also a prospect. He could come
Cade
up and
Anderson,
be supremely average at the MLB level. Like there really just is no tell. But for someone like Mason Miller, who has 3.5 years of control, sub 1 ERA, had his first blown save in like over a year, and it's because Jeremiah Estrada walked the bases loaded with no outs. Like it's one of those things. He's simply the best. Like just watching him pitch, there's no other way I can describe it. There's zero pitchers that I've seen that I'm more confident can get 3 straight outs. There's no pitcher in baseball that I'm more confident in that in. And so, like, yeah, if it takes the #1 prospect for any team, I think that absolutely would be a valid asking price to start like negotiations.
well, and definitely like that. I mean, the thing about the Padres gave up their #1 prospect, who is now arguably the #1 prospect in baseball. Cade Anderson is also in that discussion, but like it makes perfect sense for the Padres to ask for that, and it also makes perfect sense for the Mariners to be like, no way, because yeah, they believe in their guy, they think he's going to be a stud. Uh, Fair enough, and they have Andres Munoz, like
Yeah,
like
Padres.
Mason Miller would obviously help, but like it's not. I'm not saying Mason Miller would be bad for any team, but yeah, like I think that makes sense from both sides. Like the Padres don't want to part with him, and so if you
Yeah.
want to take Mason Miller, you're gonna have to give up more than you're comfortable giving up. But he's not gonna move.
Yeah, that's the thing that like Preller talked about was, and he didn't say it so explicitly, and it was more like reporters. So maybe this is all just people making shit up, but I like to believe Twitter rumors, as Dallas and Drew know. But it's one of those things like when we traded for Mason Miller, he was a mid 2 ERA guy. He was like pretty good, like definitely you could see all the potential and just had a lot of control. He's far and away the best closer in baseball. He is far and away the most dominant, again, single inning pitcher in all of baseball, and has still 3.5 years of control and is just that much better. I just don't see a scenario where we make a trade that is anything less in value or relative value to what we traded for him. We gave up, I believe, 4 or 5 of our top 10 prospects, one of which was the #3 in baseball at the time he was traded. And so, yeah, I don't see a scenario where he gets moved. I don't think that's even in the cards right now. But like Drew said, if someone's trying to get him from us, it's going to take your top prospect plus a lot more. Doesn't matter what the team is. Doesn't matter if it's the #1 prospect in baseball. Like, he would be in part of that prospect trade. So we'll see. I don't expect to see Mason Miller moved. My real fear is we're going to secretly see AJ Morahone get moved at like 259, and it's going to break my heart because he's like one of the few homegrown guys that has like grown into relevance, and not just relevance, but like being a really good pitcher. I think that he would be a starter on more than half of the teams in MLB right now, or not a starter, the closer on more than half the teams in MLB right now. And so I do fear there's a chance we could lose out on him And sure, we'd get some good prospects back, but that one makes me anxious.
Yeah. Asking price is what's going to tank, a Detmers deal at this deadline, probably at this point, or a Neto deal at this deadline, probably. And, that's the other side of the same thing the same idea I have is like how far away the Angels are from actually being good. It's like, yeah, they are far away from being good. These guys are going to be on the team for another 2 or 3 years. And so if you don't get what you want at this deadline, try again in the offseason. Try again next deadline. Try again the following offseason. Just keep them and keep trying. And eventually maybe they'll raise their own prospects by playing well, or teams are going to be more desperate at next year's deadline or the following one, and you get what you want there. So
Lars Nootbaar to the Diamondbacks, guys.
Yep. We're in the last 10 minutes of the deadline, and you got to give it a few minutes buffer to see if the last ones come through or whatever. But we're really getting to the thick of it. So yeah, Diamondbacks are getting Lars Nootbaar, adding him to their outfield. I don't know. Let's see. We got 10 minutes left. Could see a flurry of moves here. I never answered this question, so I'll go ahead with the Red Sox here.
Yeah.
If I'm already quite pleased with the deadline. I love Adley Rutschman being added. I like the Curtis Mead move, even though he got hurt immediately. I think the process was fine. And then, yeah, even this Marcelo Meyer trade, I think Meyer's value has just not it's not held, basically. He just can't stay on the field. And when he does, it hasn't been that amazing. So I'm okay with it so far. Obviously the dream going in was a shortstop. I just don't think now with all the moves we've already made and everything we gave up for Adley, that's really in the cards. Any shortstop that would be an actual upgrade would just cost too much at this point. I think I would love just one more starting pitcher, someone who could just eat some innings for us because we've got a lot of rookies who are hitting those limits. So someone like a Brady Singer or, like Robbie Ray would have been great if the Padres didn't swoop in there. But, an expiring pitcher, maybe a year or two left, someone like that, I would be cool with that. And I would feel quite good about the Red Sox chances. I already do. They've been playing great. There hasn't been too many holes, and one of them was catcher, and we filled that spot. So the bullpen has been one of the best in baseball. It should have gotten better today with that addition of Eric Miller. I'm excited to see what happens. Oh, we got Horacio in the chat.
Woo!
He's just
making
Mason
Miller and Chapman to the Dodgers. I'm sure.
One of the only Dodgers.
I'll trade you Mason Miller for Shohei Ohtani.
I'm gonna ask Horacio, did you watch any baseball this past weekend? And if you didn't, catch up real quick. And if you did, reverse that. Give me.
Yeah.
Let's give me. Who's the DH on the Dodgers? He's the Japanese guy. What's his name?
I don't know.
I'll take him.
Seiya Suzuki.
I don't know.
Hasn't your guys' Japanese guy been starting, and that's what made this whole hot streak happen?
He starts against righties. Yeah, dude. I've always been a Masa liker. Masataka Yoshida. He makes too much money for his role, and that's always been the problem. But I don't really care about money, and so they've been years. He's been with the Red Sox. This is his 4th season on the Red Sox. He has one more year after this. And every single offseason, every single trade deadline, they talk about trying to unload his contract. Not this year. They haven't really been talking about that at this deadline, but I just never thought it made sense. I thought he was a valuable enough piece that you don't really need to take pennies on the dollar for him. And I like it. All right, Dallas, Matt has a question for you in the chat.
Okay.
He's asking if the OC vibe will ever be completed, and how would this affect the Angels?
I'm pretty sure the OC vibe is going to get finished. I think that I don't know the progress. I'm not a huge Ducks follower or whatever else goes on at the Honda Center follower. But I think the last I heard, they're trying to make it happen, be real. And I wish it would affect the Angels, but it won't because it's across the freeway. But if anything, maybe if it succeeds in doing what it's supposed to do, then the city will warm up to the idea of letting the Angels do something similar with that big parking lot around the stadium. So, if any impact it has on the Angels, it'll be years down the road probably because it will be successful in bringing people and money, and they'll be like, maybe we should just let the Angels do it, even though we don't really like them.
Matt wants to know if he's going to see you at the OC Vibe.
Probably not. I don't know.
Solving a Rubik's Cube.
Oh well, yeah. They're gonna have me do like how David Blaine in the 2000s used to do like big spotlight and like in the middle of the night TV specials where he would do an escape. I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna be solving a Rubik's Cube. I'm gonna have the mic that goes around my face with the big, like the Britney Spears mic. Yeah.
Dallas being a street performer is something I would actually pay him money to do.
I'm gonna be the Chris Angel of Rubik's Cube.
We got a lowercase passive notification, so nothing too big. But Nathaniel Lowe is heading across Ohio from Cincinnati to Cleveland, so he'll be in that Guardians lineup. All right, here we got a comment from Horacio, Dodger fan. He says, Dave Roberts always talks about not having to win every game, but that's lame. I want to win regardless of where we are during the season. Well, I think the Dodgers care more about those October wins than they do the August wins.
Yeah.
Horacio, does it make you mad that you only get like 50 innings pitched by most of your starters for the year? I'm curious because like Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow have just not been heard from. I don't know even what their injuries were, but I haven't heard of anything from them in forever. And I know they're both going to come back and be ace level pitchers in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the thing, like they can just stay there and get ready. That's what they are able to do.
Here's what's crazy: the Dodgers, as we know, a couple days ago traded for Tarik Skubal. Congrats on that, Horacio. The Tigers, since that move, have not traded anyone else. It's like, why did you do that? Why?
Also, why not wait for today and see if anyone else would even try and surpass the offer?
What was the rush, dude? That's like, it's just very, it's just like Tigers owners, just like every other owner, they want that cap, and they're gonna get it however they can. All right, we're in the last 2 minutes here of the deadline. Are we going to get anything else? We got another minor one. Victor Vodnik heading to the Marlins from Colorado. Connor Norby part of the return. I don't. Let me look up Victor Vodnik. I can't say the Rockies bullpen is something that I pay much attention to. Okay, he throws hard.
That's my best guess, Matt, is you need to at least submit the paperwork of it, not necessarily it be like signed and done, but just like, hey, this is the trade that's going. But who knows?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Oh, tinfoil for sure, Horacio. I 100% think that at this point the owners are just letting shit happen. Because I mean, not to be all, like boohoo on me. I do remember, it was talked about a couple of years ago when Padres were in on Aaron Judge. There was all sorts of reporting that MLB was going to step in and they wanted to shut down our contract for him, and they were basically going to veto an Aaron Judge to San Diego free agency signing. But then you see stuff like this where players just keep getting piled in for the Dodgers, and they're allowed to keep spending like this. So I do feel like there is a little bit of that conspiracy, a little bit of that tinfoil hat situation, where, yeah, they are trying to make a push for a salary cap because obviously salary cap is going to be more profitable for the owners.
This is the first I heard of it. Now I'm looking up this thing. Major League Baseball would have been prepared to veto such an arrangement if the sides had agreed upon it. Why? What on earth?
Yeah, you didn't know about that?
No.
Dude,
VA
it
did it.
was. Yeah, it literally was a thing. If Aaron Judge had agreed to sign with the Padres on a $400 million whatever contract we were prepared to offer him, it like came out that they're like, yeah, we would have vetoed that. That wouldn't have gone through. And it's like, oh,
But
cool.
Juan Soto can sign for whatever
$7
he'll
trillion.
sign for.
Yeah. So MLB is really cool that way.
I think MLB is trying to make up for NBA because the Lakers got screwed out of trading for Chris Paul way back in the day
Yeah,
for
VA did it.
basketball
So
reasons.
what Horacio just said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's just an interesting thing. I'm not someone who's like hoping and praying for a lockout. I'm curious to see what the resolution is for the two sides, though, because I definitely think there's some things that need to be fixed.
We're getting a cap. Oh, hey, at the buzzer, Matt. Padres are getting Casey Mize. The
No
Tigers
way.
Okay, there you
are-
go.
Yeah, Ken
There's
Rosenthal
there's
has that.
Tigers. There's Tigers.
Let's
and Padres taken care
go.
of.
Let's go. Casey Mize is having a great year.
And Dallas, for you, the Pirates are acquiring Kirby Yates.
All right.
So
I'll take
there
that.
you go,
One
another
more guy.
Eagles trade.
Kirby, yeah.
Soler
Pirates
would
also
be another
got-
one.
Lake Bashar from the Marlins. So the Pirates, because they added Luke Weaver as well earlier,
Mhm.
that's a brand new bullpen out there in Pittsburgh. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah. Well,
know.
guys,
Did they get a bat?
who cares about Pittsburgh? It's a brand new starting rotation in San Diego.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Casey Mize, definitely on that list of guys I would have been interested in.
He's got like a
Yeah,
2.8 ERA this year.
We are now officially past the deadline. I'm just doing some refreshing just to see. I mean, we got to give this at least 10 minutes, I think, before we're
I think so.
really sure about things.
I'm trying to remember if there's been anyone that's come in after the deadline that's been like a big one. But I can't
The
remember.
Zach Greinke to Houston deal came like I
Oh.
want to say 15 minutes late. I remember being like,
Long time ago.
"Whoa!" At the buzzer.
Josh Rojas involved in that deal.
What did
So
he give
the
up?
Yankees deadline, just so we're keeping track. Luis Garcia Jr. and Elliot Ramos. And they didn't give up all their prospects for Adley like the Red Sox did. We'll see who that pays
Sure.
off for more. But the Yankees not getting a catcher is shocking. They needed a catcher bad. I thought Tyler Stevenson from the Reds was a good fit.
Yeah.
All right, the Red Sox are done. Apparently, that's the reporting that we're seeing. So no
Okay.
no additional moves for them. But hey, they kept their top prospect. They got a certified dude in Adley Rushman. Some interesting other moves. I'm excited compared to last year. Definitely more excited.
Mhm.
Yeah, it seems like Casey Mize might be the last big move. I'm not seeing. I mean,
As long as we didn't
granted,
give up Ethan Salas, I'm gonna be incredibly hyped on this. He is
there's
the
no way they
only
gave up Ethan Salas for a half season of Casey
right,
Mize.
right. I'm just saying. I mean, AJ Preller has never ceased to amaze and bewilder me. As long as we did not give him up, I'm gonna call this an absolute home run. Two solid pitchers. Let's keep it rolling. I mean, we've got guys coming back off the injured list. Like our offense can get back. This is good stuff. I like this. Maybe we gave up one of. Please tell me we got rid of like Wandy Peralta. Okay, I don't know how reliable this guy is. I've seen him. He is a San Diego like beat reporter, but he's saying we got Casey Mize and Gage Workman for Cash Mayfield and Jackson Wolf. So like
The only
Cash,
name I know is Casey Mize.
yeah, I was gonna say Cash is I think he's in our top 5 prospects. He's a double-A pitcher. He's still a couple years out. And then Jackson Wolf. They're both like 6'8" lefties. Both of our prospects that we just gave up, they're massive dudes and lefty. But Casey Mize is, we know him. Gage Workman. I feel like I've heard of him, but I don't know why.
It's funny to trade a player with the last name Cash when Cash
First
is
name
also
Cash.
something you could trade. Or with the first name
Traded
Cash when Cash is
Cash
something you
for
could
a
also trade.
workman. That's called having a job.
Which
San Diego's supporting labor.
Gage
Unfamiliar.
Workman, third baseman.
Third baseman, super.
Looks like very limited
meh.
MLB experience so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
not mad
I
about
guess Duran's still on the team. I guess that's probably my biggest surprise of the deadline.
Oh no.
I also
No
didn't mention this
takers.
live. It was kind of minor, but the Red Sox swung another move a half hour ago or so, where they traded one of our pitching prospects, Tyler Uberstein, for Eli White from the Braves, who is an outfielder with some speed. I don't really know what his role will be on our team. I thought that might have been a precursor to a Duran trade, but maybe he's just a role player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not seeing anything else coming in. Yeah, Cash Mayfield and Jackson Wolf. Ken Rosenthal is confirming that report that you saw, Matt.
Yep. Matt, I can appreciate that joke deserved a bigger laugh, but I was in the middle of something.
Which joke? I make so many.
I think the joke about being a job.
Oh yeah, Cash for Workman.
Oh yes.
Yeah, dude, that was really good.
There's probably a joke in there about tigers and a wolf. I don't know. You're really trying to get into the weasels.
Yeah, I think
Go
they're
ahead.
both members of the animal kingdom. If I'm thinking of the right things.
You are not. No.
Okay, I think we might be done. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything else coming in. I don't know if you guys see anything on your end.
No.
All right. What a deadline, huh? Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Some big names moved. A lot of big names that were talked about at some point did not move. No
Right.
real surprise there. But hey, our teams got busy. Maybe this week on our episode we'll do some grades or something, but it's so impossible to grade trades until like years later. But
Yeah. That's
No,
true.
I'm excited.
yeah, dude, it's a new look team.
We'll never forget the Joe Adele 3 home run robbery game. We'll also never forget the time when he went to go rob a home run and it bounced off his glove and it went over the fence. That thing. When that happened, we'll never forget that either. I heard that the Angels are still planning to go forward with his bobblehead night.
And his jersey
And that's
giveaway.
coming up in the next few weeks or so, which that's a fun thing to do. I think I was trying to go for like as many of the banners outside the stadium to have to be taken down as possible. I think only one ended up being taken down, unless Adele had one and I'm forgetting. But I think only Soriano has to be taken down at this point. So not quite a full replacement.
Have you guys taken
Yeah.
down the Alec Manoa poster?
Probably not. That was like one of the pillars in the side of the stadium that had his face on it. Yeah, I remember that. But who knows? Maybe.
The Angels, I mean, no surprise, but officially holding on to Detmers and Neto.
Yep.
No moves there.
Yep.
But we are done, I think. That is the deadline. And we got a whole second half of baseball to go.
Yep.
Wow,
If
the
you know
Rangers only made one trade.
some teams play today,
Yep.
have fun with that.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in with us. Thanks for being live in the chat. And, good luck to your team except for Horacio. No good luck for you.
Don't
But
need it.
that's Dingers and Stingers. You're probably watching us on YouTube because it's not live anywhere else. But we do have other episodes. You can watch them on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify. You can like. You can subscribe. You can do all those things whenever you want. That would be awesome. Just on your
True.
own time. I'm Drew. That's Dallas and Matt. We are Dingers and Stingers, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.